Hey guys, today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to retire early and all these fallacies that you need so much money to retire, okay? So let's get into it. First off, I just finished watching a video by 2 Cents, which is a PBS sponsor channel of two people, a guy and a girl or a guy and a lady who make videos on financial wealth and freedom, and that's good and all that, but they just said that if you wanted to replace a $40,000 a year income with 30 years of retirement, so if you wanted the equivalent of your $40,000 per year job for 30 years of retirement, you would need $1.18 million to do that. And I'm here to tell you that is just simply not true. It's just simply not true. You don't need almost $2 million to retire because first off, if you had that much money in the bank, it would be earning you so much in interest alone that you wouldn't have to live off of your actual balance of $1.2 million. They actually make it sound like you need to save up so much money to retire. Well, let's take a good look at that. If you were in the stock market and you just got 7% return, which I hear is average across the board, 7% for conservative stocks year to year, then $1 million, quick calculation, would yield you $70,000 per year. So where are they thinking that you would need $1.2 million when just the interest off of $1 million invested would be higher than you would need for $40,000 a year? No. Let's break that down. If you had $40,000 a year income, what you're spending it on is taxes. First off, everyone pays taxes. Second off is your housing, your car, your food, your entertainment. So if you were to be retired, you'd pay less in taxes because your money would just be saved up, and the most you'd pay is a little bit on the interest you would receive from your investments. You would have a house, so you wouldn't need $40,000 a year for your taxes in your house, and you would probably have a car, and if not, I mean, you could figure that out. It's really not like you have to work so hard to get a car. I mean, you can get beaters for like $1,000, and if you're retired, you don't have to drive every single day. Your normal expenses like insurances and stuff, I guess, would be like another $1,000. So realistically, you would need about $1,000 or maybe $2,000 a month to retire. So $14,000 a year. It's still below the standard deduction, so you wouldn't pay any taxes. And what is $14,000 a year at 7% return? Like what would that return be? It would be if you were to do 14 times 10, that would be 140,000. So you'd need roughly $200,000 to retire, and you would have to have your house paid off, a working car, and that's it. So these people who say you need $1.2 million to retire are actually fooling you by $1 million. You just have to pay off your living space, pay off your car, pay off your debts, and get about $200,000 in the bank. And then that will pay you like $15,000 a year in interest income. So you can just keep the $200,000 in the bank, and you'd have your house as equity in case you ever got in a real pinch. You could just sell your house and downgrade, and then there you go, bang bang boom. The biggest trick is you don't want to have kids, you don't want to have a wife, you want to be solo so that you can have more fun, spend more of your money on entertainment, and not have to spend all your money on stupid expenses that you really shouldn't have to have, like diapers. If you have like 7 kids, then yeah, you can't retire by the time you're 40 or 30. But if you are single, which is good for overpopulation too, then you can have more fun, and I mean more or less. I mean, a family's fun, but I won't even get into that. But you'll be cheaper off, and you can retire. And what these people aren't factoring is not just the interest on your principal, but you're going to get odd jobs. I mean, people don't just sit around in retirement. They either start businesses, they do jobs for their neighbors, like construction or like helping their neighbor move. Like, I'm sure that you can find at least $5,000 a year in random income, maybe 3,000. So in that case, all you'd really need is 150,000 in the bank and a paid off house. And then bing, bang, boom, you could retire. Just go look for houses somewhere that are cheap if you really want to retire early, like somewhere like Detroit or Oklahoma City or Vegas or whatever. And bing, bang, boom, you don't have to work for the man for the rest of your life. I hope you guys learned a little bit. I hope you learned that you don't need $1.2 million to retire, because I just did the calculations in my head that you only really need about $200,000 to retire and a paid off house and all that. So don't listen to all these people trying to tell you that you need fortunes and fortunes to retire. All right? Peace.